Watch Dogs Legion is not the game you think it is, but based on my 4 hours with the game so far, it definitely is a very good game. But I'd rather get the elephant in the room discussed sooner rather than later, so here it is. Watch Dogs Legion doesn't seem like a very funny game. Sure, there are characters that quip, though it's mostly an Avengers-like Jarvis-style AI that does the quipping, but Legion is a dark game so far, which is really not what I was expecting. There's also a danger that it tries too hard as well. I've not played many games with as much swearing in it as Watch Dogs Legion has, almost to the point of parody. There's a side quest here involving bare-knuckle boxing, where the crowd is almost exclusively shouting "fucking hell" or "fuck off" or some randomly cobbled together phrases that should be funny but again are a bit try-hard. There's some incredibly inventive swearing, we're talking sort of cockwomble levels here, and I won't deny that, but even the commentator for the online stream of these fights is giving it full leather, all the while you're being tag-teamed by the champions, being battered to a bloody pulp. But let me set the scene for you. This is London, but it's not London as we know it. It's set in the near future where technology has rapidly accelerated, and after a tragic set of events, London is under rule of multiple gangs that use drones and other tech to keep the population subdued. There are actual checkpoints set up on the roads that scan cars. There are plots involving injected substances that can be used to control people. It's dystopian in a way that's bordering on uncomfortable, though it's nice to see London bustling with life again, albeit a London where everyone seems to swear non-stop at anyone and everyone who just passes by. And look, I'm aware I actually sound down on the game, don't I? And I don't mean to, because I absolutely loved what I played of it. It's the gameplay of the phenomenal Watch Dogs 2 iterated upon, but the tone is nearer that of the first Watch Dogs, which will please some and annoy others, especially given the marketing which suggests a far more jolly game than I played. Perhaps that stuff comes later on in the story though, because I didn't find photographing the faces of corpses particularly hilarious, and in the near 5 hours I played, I didn't even find one sweary granny to recruit to my gang. But wow, randomly making cars in traffic swerve into one another or off the road at the touch of a button is still remarkably good fun. Quickly hacking drones or people's phones and watching the chaos that ensues is tremendously satisfying, and it all works as well as it did before, and is no less fun in Legion. Using a spider bot to infiltrate a building is great too, scuttling around the vents and ramming your, what I can only presume to be a spider penis, into the electronics to shut down security systems is a great lark. It all works really well too. One building I managed to use the quick scan, the sort of Batman-like detective vision ping, to identify security cameras easily. Then, bouncing instantly from camera to camera, set multiple traps, draw enemies in, and actually take out all but 3 of the guards without ever entering the building properly. It's just a case of mopping up the dregs then, and hitting your objective, then leaving cleanly. It's great, it really is. How you choose to tackle a scenario is pretty much up to you. Sure, there are rules of the game and you can't break out of the boundaries as such, but that's where Watch Dogs Legion's main point of interest comes in. You can recruit anyone. And people were rightly skeptical of this at first, but it really does work as promised. There are a few different ways of recruiting people, and one does just involve just talking to them and recruiting them, but they need to be sympathetic to your cause for this route to work easily. Others require little missions to be completed, and these missions are far more detailed than I would have expected. Multi-stage levels that you must complete will turn even the people who hate DedSec into allies, but everyone has a unique set of traits and uses. From passive abilities like quicker skill cooldowns to full-on weapon loadouts changing, every character is voiced, and it does seem as though every voice has been recorded for every possible story section. You can swap between your team at will via a short loading screen, and you can track recruits by the menus, pulling them into your team as and when you fancy it. Different team members will have different skills, as I say, but some are vital. For example, recruiting a barrister means that if you fail a mission and are arrested as one character, your jail time will be reduced, or in plain English, you can play as them again sooner. It's in your best interest to recruit loads of people, and there are skill upgrades, some of which apply to your overall roster, some which need unlocking per character. Honestly, it's remarkable and very impressive, and the only issue I have with it is that some of the characters' accents are just so bad. Some seem to swing in and out of whatever accent they're performing, and although London is wonderful for its multicultural population, some of the voices on offer here feel like caricatures, which is perhaps where this jokiness of the marketing comes in. It's fine to have that swearing grandma, but there are sections of this otherwise very serious story that feel daft because of the delivery of the lines, and how inappropriate some of the dialogue feels in the moment. Moving away from the story, there is definitely some fun to be had in this open world. There are a few mini-games I found that range from doing simple things like keepy-ups with a football to taking down gang-run areas to find collectibles, and of course the aforementioned boxing scene. I really did enjoy adding to my team too, and you can scan everyone in this game, and some of the traits are wild. I'm also pretty sure I saw some people I recognised in the game too, but I can't say for sure right now. Towards the end of my time with the game, I decided to see what I could do in this open world, just ignoring all the rules and making it my own sandbox. So I found a huge drone that I could ride, and I took to the skies flying, or is it droning, not sure, across this world famous city, seeing landmarks like Big Ben or the Gherkin. I heard people being hassled by the man, and I swooped slowly downward on my drone like some kind of crap Spider-Man, beat the bad dudes up, freed my fellow oppressed citizens, and then flew away again, slowly, on my drone. I droned across what I think is London Bridge, and I repeatedly made trucks and buses change direction via hacking because I could. I jumped into the water, and I made a rich bastard boat owner repeatedly reverse towards me so I could mount his boat and take it back for those of us less fortunate who don't have our own boats. And then I jumped over more bad guys using their boats as a ramp, then went man overboard and swam ashore to hide like an even more crap Spider-Man while the heat died down, and I chuckled as I did all of this. Watch Dogs Legion is a strange game because you can ride a drone high above multi-story buildings, listening to an AI that quips at you as you fly. But there's also human trafficking and a subplot about enslavement and black market organ selling. But I have no doubt that Watch Dogs Legion will be one of the best games this year, and after spending 4 to 5 hours with it, I am dying to play more and haven't been able to stop thinking about it since. But I do hope the tone settles down further into the story, because while I found myself in a lovely rhythm with the hacking, the almost Batman-like combat, the decent gunplay and the good handling vehicles, I do worry that the story is just a bit too serious for its own good. It seems like a very, very big game though, so I can't judge the story based on this. Regardless, I cannot wait to play more of Watch Dogs Legion, and it's going to look brilliant on those next-gen consoles too with that ray tracing. Watch Dogs Legion is set to release on Xbox One, PC and PS4 on October 29th, 2020. It will also be a launch release for PS5 and Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. I have been Adam Cook for godisageek.com. If you enjoyed this video, please do make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, leave us a comment. We have an enormous amount of footage of this game. I have every second of what I played and would be happy to put more content together if you, our viewers and listeners and readers, would like to see it. Perhaps if you want to send questions, I can put together a Q&A video. Either way, worth mentioning as well, we have a Patreon where for £1 or $1 you get early access to our podcast, exclusive videos and exclusive podcasts. We do code drops there. There's loads of stuff over there. That's patreon.com/godisageek. Thank you so much for watching our video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.